Welcome to the Pulse of the Heartland podcast, the podcast where no topic is off limits. Now, welcome the boys of the Heartland, Bryant, Ryan, Clark, Joey, and Trent. If you've ever kicked around the idea of starting a podcast like the boys of the Heartland, we all recommend Anchor by Spotify. It is the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. So novice podcasters like the boys of the Heartland can jump right in. Anchor has all the tools that allow you to edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. So download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Welcome to the Pulse of the Heartland podcast. This is episode 26. Thank you, everybody, for following along here, listening to all the old episodes, and just letting us know how we're doing. We want to hear from you. Hit us up on all the social medias. Slide into those DMs. Joey, what are the socials?
Twitter and Instagram at Heartland Pulse. Look us up on Facebook and YouTube. Search Pulse of the Heartland. Find us on all the major platforms, Spotify, Apple, Google, iHeart. And if you need it, Bryant, where can they find us?
Sorry, man. I've never jumped in on this. Keep going.
You get that Anchor link. I know Bryant doesn't like that, but we do it.
Well, so why doesn't Bryant like that?
Oh, he just thinks no one does it. But there are people that do. That's it. I'm sorry. I did not mean to throw Bryant under the bus. That's my fault.
Yeah, no, there are people that do. Like, if you go look at the statistics from the episodes, it tells you where people listened, and people do listen on Anchor. I think that's kind of weird too, but
yeah,
hey,
I've never, until we started doing this, I never ever heard of Anchor. So
me neither.
I mean, and that's just what happens. So just me being a dick. Sorry, Bryant.
I don't even think Joey was pushing Bryant under the bus. I think he was driving the bus, like pedal to the metal. There's Bryant, just gonna lay him over.
Well, this is gonna be a Bryant-friendly podcast. I mean,
I'm sure he has nothing to rant about.
No.
Yeah. No. Trust me, I got my stats in front of me, so just let me know.
All right. Joey, what are you drinking?
I went out after work tonight, celebrating a late birthday. So if I sound little tipsy already, you're right. I am drinking Logboat Brewery called Rollin' Pro Indian Pale Ale. Very good. So the can is 5 aliens in a VW van with satellites on top and a skull on the front driving down the road.
Yeah.
You're like Bryant. He'll be jealous of that can.
Yeah. Well, Bryant's been to Logboat. He knows how crazy their cans look. Same place that Storm and Norman. Very good.
All right. Ryan, what are you drinking?
So yesterday I had a talking to with my wife about the multiple bottles of liquor I have on top of our fridge. So I'm trying to clear that out a little bit before I can buy something new. So
nice.
I'm going with some Blue Chair Bay white rum mixed with a little orange juice and grenadine.
Ooh. Is that a Kenny Chesney bottle?
Yeah, and it is the best rum out there.
Ryan is the Blue Chair Bay connoisseur of South Dakota.
So good. It is so good. Better than Malibu, that's for sure.
You just tell Rebecca that those bottles, that's content, okay? That's work.
Yeah, that's what I try to say, but apparently having no room on top of our fridge means it's time to finish something up.
Time to get another fridge.
Yes.
Problem solved.
All right, Bryant, what is on the can of what you're drinking tonight?
It is a dirty white van that just has what says "Wash Me" on it. Is the name of the beer there? But I don't know. It kind of intrigued me a little bit. It's a let me see, American IPA dry hopped with Citra, Simcoe, and El Dorado. How about that? How fancy that sounds.
Simcoe.
Wow,
yeah,
nice.
It's out of Barntown. I think I'm just going to be a Barntown kid from now on.
There you go.
It's kind of like I've been doing like Remedy for the last how many weeks? You're doing Barntown. So, All right. Well, Clark, what are you drinking?
Well, everybody knows that I'm a Templeton kid, and I just polished off another bottle of Templeton 4-year. So next drink of Templeton's gonna be out of a new bottle.
Nice.
Ooh.
Hell yeah.
Clark, I think you just need to take a field trip to Templeton.
Yeah,
To the distillery.
I've heard it. I've heard it's pretty cool. Wait,
Yeah.
what? No, it's not in Templeton. The bar you're always telling me about, is that in Peyton,
Peyton.
Iowa?
Yeah, 209 Main. That's a cool bar.
Mm-hmm.
You might as well just hit up Bowl, go to Gowrie.
Well, shit, I gotta deliver some T-shirts that I don't have shipping addresses for. So,
well, nobody asked me for my new address, so
and neither one of us live in Gowrie, so that's not going to help.
well, I'll just send it there, and you guys can go find it.
Yeah.
Gowrie's a small enough town where you could go, can you get this package to Trent? And they'll go, yeah, I know where he lives. And they'll just
Just
get
put Crystal Wilkes, Gowrie, Iowa, forward Trent and Joey. She'll
There
know.
you go.
yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. All right.
Trent, what about you?
Trent?
I am drinking a Lion's Paw Lager from Fernson Brewing in Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Nice.
Yeah. That's one I haven't drank on the pod yet, and I found it at the liquor store, so picked up a 12-pack. Yeah.
And is it good?
Yeah, no, it's really good. I've actually had this multiple times. I've just somehow have skipped it on the pod, so figured we can give them a shout out this week.
Yep, we sure can.
Yep. All right, well, let's hop into this thing. First off, just thank everybody for watching the YouTube live that we did last Saturday for the conference championship preview. I don't think any of our takes were incorrect on that at all.
Crazy how all of us were perfect.
Yeah, it is. But no, we have a lot of fun doing those. It's a little bit different than doing the pod, so it's kind of fun being able to see each other and see each other react to our incredible takes that we have. But yeah, we do have some people that watch and actually interact with us. So that's kind of cool. I mean, the first time we had somebody from the Philippines interacting with us. He was a Titans fan. So
No, I got it wrong. He was actually from Tennessee, but he was visiting the Philippines. But so I mean, basically the same thing.
Yeah. So that's kind of cool that somebody that we've never met before, is following along and interacting with us. So I don't know, maybe that guy listens to the pod now. So shout out to that guy.
We don't even know his name.
No.
And sorry about Tennessee losing that weekend.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we were right. But thanks for listening.
We've never been wrong.
No, and those will definitely, these bigger events, maybe some bigger like UFC cards. I know Joey does the combat pod. We can start doing those. And, obviously, I think for the Super Bowl, it'll be probably a little bit shorter, but it'll be fun kind of jump in a little bit more on that stuff and talk about props and stuff like that.
So I know I sent a text message to you guys with video, and I don't want to copy anyone's ideas, but the Levitard show did a watch along with the NFC Championship game, and I think that would be fun as fuck to do with our group. I know I get a little goofy when we're doing the YouTube video stuff, just visually. You can do so much more, and I would love to do that for like a watch along if it's like the main events like cards and stuff. So if you guys really like that, make sure you let us know. I think that us growing our content, no matter how we can, is going to be good for everybody, and we can also, like Trent said, interact with you as we go along, which is amazing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
No, I think it would be
the longer it takes the world to hear more of us, the worse the world is. So let's just get the word out.
That's right. So I think that would be cool to do during like a UFC main card, because like if there's a knockout to like see our reaction like live, that'd be, I don't know, I think it'd be cool.
Yeah, and I think that since none of us really have a team playing in the Super Bowl other than Trent and I picking the Rams, we could maybe throw something together if we get enough listeners that want to get in on that with us and maybe do something, not so much during the Super Bowl, but before, or like do a halftime thing while we're watching the halftime show together. Something short and sweet so we get get a feel for what you guys want. I think that'd be fun. So let us know what you think.
Yeah, we'll set something up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's dive into the championship games here. The first game was the Bengals and the Chiefs, as we all suspected. I mean, we all had the Bengals picked, didn't we?
Yeah, as we all picked. Yeah, big old red column across that one, dude.
Yeah, it was unanimous. We all had the Chiefs winning that game. They were a 7.5-point favorite. And the Bengals, they ended up winning. The Chiefs going overtime for the second week in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Once that coin flipped and the Chiefs are getting the ball, I think everybody in that stadium probably felt pretty good.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, here we go again. Chiefs are going to win. But it was not meant to be.
I guess I was in the minority because they hit heads. I'm like, it don't fucking matter. Burrow's getting the ball. Fucking Chiefs ain't done shit in the entire second quarter.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, it hit heads, and I was like, yeah, it don't matter. Bengals are winning. Like,
They had
you could see it on the Chiefs fucking sideline the entire second half. They weren't gonna fucking do shit with the ball.
Yeah. No,
Yeah, you guys are gonna have to explain everything to me like I'm 5 because you guys know I was busy playing in a volleyball tournament, and who the heck schedules a volleyball tournament on Conference Championship Sunday? I don't know, but I was a victim this weekend, so you guys will have to explain everything to me.
I'm gonna guess you probably also have something scheduled during the Super Bowl.
No, I made sure that day is open.
It is Valentine's weekend, so if someone does, you're an idiot.
It's also my wife's birthday that weekend too, so
You might not get to watch Super Bowl.
Oh no, she's all in on the Super Bowl, so we're good.
Wait, your wife has the same birthday as Valentine's weekend?
Hers is the 15th. So.
Oh Jesus, I'm sorry, man.
Get a double whammy.
Whammy.
Or you knock two birds out with one stone. Either way.
No, we don't do that, but she's pretty easy to get along with on it.
So Ryan, I guess I can kind of recap the game. Well, not really the whole game, but the Chiefs' last drive of the second quarter, and then all of the third quarter was the center took the ball, snapped it to Mahomes. The Bengals dropped 8. Mahomes ran around behind the line like a chicken with his head cut off and couldn't do anything with it.
I agree.
Was there like actual pressure on Mahomes, or?
Well, there was.
But
yes. They were creating enough pressure with 3 people, though, when we had 5 blocking, that, obviously when you're running that 8 deep zone, it's going to take so much more for them to get open. And somehow, I don't know where Mahomes wasn't just running the ball down the field and taking the 3-4 yards you could get and force them to come up. But yeah, every play was, and I think they're dropping deep in the first half too, but we were running the ball then. So it forced them to play up, and we were kind of having our way with them in the first half, to be honest.
Those were 2 of the things that I saw a lot on Twitter. Was 1, Mahomes was playing hero ball, and 2, they gave up on the run.
Yeah.
So
nope,
the
it's
Chiefs
crazy.
Got up.
Go ahead.
I would say the Chiefs got up 21-3, and I was like, all right, my stomach hurt. I don't know what you brought over here, Bryant, but I got the same stomach shit that you did from earlier in the weekend, and I was like, all right, I'm just going to take a nap. They're going to win this by 42. And then I woke up and it's 21-14 or 21-13. I'm like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Nope.
Sorry, not to skip ahead too far, but I fell asleep also.
Yeah, no, it was definitely one of those where the big turn of events was the Chiefs were driving again. I can't remember if they forced a turnover or what it was, but they were driving and they had about 50 seconds left and they drove the field and they were on the goal line and they had 2 plays. One, they threw it away and there was about 5 seconds left. And first off, Romo trying to call these plays every time, and especially when your team starts to lose momentum like that, is the most annoying fucking thing that I can hear the whole time. Oh, Jim, I think he's going to throw it away. And it's just like the buildup on every play. And then when it does fail, it was just so fucking annoying. But 5 seconds left, the Chiefs, instead of what Mahomes was supposed to do, was I think it was Kelsey or whatever tight end pop in the middle. If that ball wasn't there, he's supposed to throw it away, give you 1 second left or whatever, and kick the field goal and go up 24-3. Well, Mahomes did it where, again, this is where the hero ball started at that point, where he took the snap and it wasn't there, and then he saw Hill. He was doing a streak across the heading to the left side of the field. He threw it behind the line to Hill, expecting Hill to outrun everyone, and Eli Apple caught him at like the 2-yard line. And instead of getting any points, we took 0 at that point. And that was really kind of the big momentum change in the game.
That was the play right before half.
Yep.
So they went into halftime with a huge swing in momentum, and they apparently got in their own heads during that halftime break because they didn't look the same the entire second half.
And to credit the Bengals, this is what happened in the first game, is we went up high. We went into the locker room. I don't know if there's any momentum change in the first game because, again, it was one of those snooze fests. Whatever, I'm going to go to sleep, but we're up so far. And then, the beginning of this third quarter, we start just getting conservative, and they drop back 8. And a lot of teams, this was the epitome of the Chiefs team all year. You have a team that can just dominate on both sides of the ball so well, 21-3. There is nothing that's going to stop them. And then you get to the halftime, and every other coaching staff can make halftime adjustments. And Spags, I called for his head last week after the Buffalo game. I don't care if it was a win, and this is the exact same situation. You have this big lead, and you don't change anything about the coverage of Higgins, of Jamar Chase, where they're the ones that are making the difference, kind of like I talked about in our YouTube video here. But then the offense, they stop playing aggressive. They let their foot off the gas, and this is the third time in Andy Reid's Chiefs career where he's blown a 3-score lead in the playoffs. So unfortunately for the bandwagon fans, welcome to real Chiefs kingdom, where this will happen every once in a while. You blow a 3-score lead, or you have a quarterback that throws the ball, it hits the helmet, he catches his own football and runs for a touchdown within the Titans game like 6 years ago. I mean, this is unfortunately, or I guess fortunately with the Super Bowl, we've been able to get past a lot of that stuff that Andy Reid's had in the past, but this is the same thing that's happened before, where you have this big lead. They don't want to, really put the foot on their neck or just really kill them at that point with momentum. And they came back and they just rode the momentum at that point.
So on the defensive side of things, was Burrow able to get the ball to Chase pretty easily?
I would say so. I mean, it was between him and Higgins. Higgins was more of the killer at this point. Higgins was the one getting open. We had to start focusing on him, and then Jamar was getting his chances as well. But like we said, both of those guys, he was just choosing which one was open at that point. And what Mahomes didn't do in the second half, he wasn't taking the yards he could take. He once he started doing it, it was too late in the fourth quarter to get any momentum. At that point, we were playing to just tie the game. But
right,
yeah, he was just finding the open receiver and taking what he could.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember so much the last year that Jerry Rice and T.O. were together. That's kind of what Jamar Chase and T. Higgins were doing. And I'm not saying that they're on the same level with those guys, but Chase was taking the underneath routes and taking all the attention towards himself, and then Higgins was just going over the top and doing like posts and ins and taking the first downs, and that's what the Bengals were doing in the whole second half, was just moving the ball down the field, first down by first down.
Mm-hmm. Nope, and that's what happens when you don't adjust your defense. I mean, the Chiefs, they had all of the. It wasn't, you couldn't use the Tyrann Mathieu excuse or Fenton excuse.
Mm-hmm.
They were both playing. It was just in the Buffalo game, they shut down Knox and they shut down Diggs, but they didn't shut down Gabriel Davis. And then the same thing, not the same thing, because we didn't shut down Jamar Chase or Higgins at that point.
Right, and then Mixon was also running the ball fairly decent against them.
Yeah, so. Mixon was the game changer in that one, actually.
Yep.
He was hitting holes like he used to hit his ex-girlfriend.
So we did mention Mahomes, and I mentioned the Bengals dropping 8 quite a bit. I just found these stats that Mahomes, when the Bengals dropped 8 in coverage, he was 7 of 13 for 59 yards, no touchdowns, an interception, and 2 sacks.
Yeah.
So,
and that's a lot of the stuff when the media was talking about they figured out Patrick Mahomes. The figuring out Patrick Mahomes was they drop 8 back and rely on their 3 people to get pressure, because our line, it's much improved from last year, but our line was absolute shit last year. So just having an average line, they were, they're able to create enough pressure, and Mahomes likes to do the spinning around and trying to make any play a play, when really sometimes just throw it away at that point, because he did cost us a couple big plays too.
Right. And I don't know. I argued with a couple people at work today, because obviously I live in Missouri and everyone's a huge Chiefs fan. And they were complaining about Mahomes trying to do too much also. And they're like, well, this guy was open. And I go, well, was he open while Mahomes was spinning around running for his life? Because that's different than just dropping back and that guy's open then. Because either he throws it when, split second the guy's open and your game's over, or he drops back and runs around and tries to make something, and then you get the ball again the next down. Like, which do you want? I don't know. Go ahead.
Well, that's what I love about instant replays. You have all these people that look at film and be like, "Oh, he missed this pass here. He missed this pass there." And it's like, okay, number one, was he looking in the opposite direction? Because it's pretty hard to see with how wide a football field is. It's pretty damn hard to see every single receiver at one time.
Yeah.
And the other thing is did he have a wide window, or was it just a split second that he could throw the ball perfectly at the right time? I mean, it's just so funny how instant replay makes football so easy when it's really quite damn tough.
Right. And my biggest thing is, and my biggest takeaway from this is, I don't hate the Chiefs at all. Like, I cheer for them as much as I possibly can. And for me to get on Twitter after the game, and there are people asking for this team to be blown up, that Mahomes really sucks. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, guys, these people have made it to 4 straight AFC Championship games. If they would have had one good drive in that second half, they're in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like, quit with all of that shit. Well, Mahomes should have done this. And then after the game, Mahomes should have apologized more. I was like, for what? Because he was trying to win a fucking game. Like, come on, guys. And again, I am not a Chiefs homer. I'm not Brian. I'm not Clark. But this team is very good, and they are going to be good for a while.
Yes.
Back the fucking truck up. I mean, Mahomes is still where you go to get through the AFC. I don't care. Burrow is great. Josh Allen, I think, will challenge Mahomes for the next decade. Justin Herbert, we talk about him all the time. I mean, there's multiple people in the AFC, but Mahomes is still the greatest quarterback in the NFL right now. Like, settle the fuck down. I'm sorry you didn't make it to another goddamn Super Bowl.
And I deal with that crap too, being a Vikings fan. I'm sure all fandoms do. I'm sure you do as a Falcons fan. I'm sure everyone really, except for the Lions, probably need to blow up. But with the Vikings, the Vikings were just a couple games out of being in the playoffs, and it was a Dalvin Cook fumble against the Bengals the first game of the season. That wasn't actually a fumble, but he fumbled it, and we lost in overtime because of it. It was a missed field goal against the Cardinals. It was the Vikings allowing a last-second touchdown to the Lions. If those 3 things go the opposite way, we're in the playoffs, and it's a completely different thing. But because we missed the playoffs by 1 or 2 games, cut Cousins, get rid of him, cut Dalvin Cook, cut Harrison Smith, cut Adam Thielen, trade Justin Jefferson for a bunch of first-round picks, and it's like, holy crap, settle down. You missed the playoffs by 1 or 2 games. You've still got a great team. You're going to have a totally different coaching staff that hopefully takes you that step further, that doesn't put you in the position to fumble the ball in overtime or miss a last-second field goal. And it's with the Chiefs. The Chiefs are damn good. They're going to be in this game every year going forward the next 10 seasons, as far as I'm concerned.
I had a woman at work today tell me, I don't know how to watch football if I don't want Mahomes to be gone. I was like, you're right. I don't know how to watch football. I'm sorry. You win. My bad.
He is the face of the NFL for a reason, because there are 31 other teams would take him. I'm pretty sure Buffalo would take him over Josh Allen.
I was just going to say, you want Mahomes gone? We'll take him.
Yeah.
Right.
You'll be very nice and take him on for us. Well, how about we just trade you Jackson Mahomes? We'll do that instead.
No.
I would take the baggage.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly right, my friend.
The boys from the Heartland will be right back.
Yeah,
But-
it's ridiculous how people just want, I'd be thrilled. The Vikings have made it to the NFC Championship, twice in my lifetime and have
Right.
lost both times. It's like, and I was thrilled when it was, I guess, 3 times. I'm thrilled to watch those games. And I mean, they'll probably never happen when they actually reach a Super Bowl in my lifetime, but it happened, you guys are lucky.
No, and honestly, the biggest thing I think a few things that I've read just from Chief Homerism and Clark. I want you to jump in if you've heard the same things. Like first off, we got Brett Veach, who's one of the best young GMs in the league right now. He went from when we had like $180 in cap space to signing Mahomes for $500 million, getting Chris Jones, restructuring contracts, and we actually ended up like above on the cap. So we got a young guy who knows. He brought it up specifically in comments this week where he's like, our defensive line created no pressure. So there's a lot of I think Chris Jones stays. He's a Pro Bowl defensive tackle. I think Frank Clark is too much money and he's gone. I think you're going to get rid of finally Daniel Sorensen, who just has been a liability on defense all fucking year. Neiman, there's a lot of these defensive players. I think they're going to blow that. I think they're going to blow the defense up if they're going to do anything. Offense, I think you keep the same and let Andy Reid and Bieniemy, do what they want to. But I guess speaking of Bieniemy, I've kind of heard trickles of he might be out the door because he's we've seen too many games where we get conservative if he is the one that's doing the play calling. We've gotten too conservative, not wanting to just get the game out of control. And, now we've lost an AFC Championship game because of it. So I think he's kind of maxed out what he can do with the Chiefs. I think they move on, and I've heard this Kafka, the quarterback's coach, I think they're going to try and move him up to offensive coordinator.
So sorry to interrupt, Clark, but to go along with you guys saying, dropping 8 and that stuff, and you've commented before that you don't have a true number 2 receiver. I've given you crap a little bit about you guys signing Juju Smith next year. Him being able to collaborate with Jackson a few times is pretty sweet. But I mean, in all honesty, if you get an actual number 2 receiver like Juju to go with Tyreek, dropping 8 against him, Tyreek, Juju, and Kelsey it's not gonna do anything. Yeah. Someone's gonna get open.
Even an aging Kelsey, we know he's probably at his peak and he's getting up there, but you're going to start seeing those Gronk numbers where he's going to slowly diminish because he can't take those hits all the time. We do need Mecole, Pringle. You have all of these kind of, I'm going to say this wrong, but like trick play, like they have certain plays and packages that work for them. But like you said, no true number 2. I mean, I've heard rumors that they're going to push hard for Juju as well because I've heard he wants to play for a winner. He wants to play for the Chiefs specifically. So
he's outright said he wants to play for the Chiefs. So
exactly. So if we can get him
for him,
exactly, if we can get him for the right price, I that's where a lot of times I wonder if players. Okay, I've made my money. Now let's start winning some championships. So maybe if we can get a friendly contract with him, that might open some windows too.
Yeah, and I don't want to interrupt Clark. I'm sorry, Clark. You go ahead. I don't want to take too much from the Chiefs people.
I get a turn.
Sorry, man.
Oh my God! Finally. So in the second half, I mean, again, I don't know what happened at halftime, but you could clearly tell Mahomes was trying to do too much in the second half. The Chiefs did run the ball actually in the second half. I don't know. I haven't counted up how many plays, but I have counted how many times they ran the ball. They ran the ball 10 times. It's hard to run the ball, though, whenever you throw an interception right away on a play, 2 plays, interception. So obviously there was not a rush on that down. And then there was one other 3 and out where they did not run the ball. Every other possession, they did run the ball at least once, if not twice. Like it was near a split.
Was CEH the back for you guys most of the game?
It was McKinnon a lot. Clyde did get some carries. I can't remember how many. He was in there a few times. 6 carries is what Clyde had. But so as far as what you're saying about Bieniemy, I don't think the Chiefs will just cut him and replace him. I think if he gets a job elsewhere, obviously that move would make sense. But I don't see them replacing him without him going somewhere else.
Yeah, with the news that we're going to talk about later that's been breaking on this Tuesday, I don't think we're just going to cut Bieniemy right away. I don't know if that's the right PR move.
Yeah. And then watching that game, I talked about seeing it on the sideline. In the Bills game, that sideline, they had the energy in that second half. It didn't matter. They're down. Who gives a shit? We're going to go get this thing. Like, after their second possession in maybe the third quarter, everybody's just flat on the sideline. It's like all down faces. Oh, poor us. Oh, we can't get it done. Like, it's like, what the hell's going on over there?
There was also an argument going on between Tyreek Hill and Mecole. And it was like, it's like considering you're up by 3 scores right now and you're yelling at each other on the sideline, not a good visual when it's like, no. I think it was something about who's getting catches or if I think it was Mecole saying he was open or one of them was. And it was just one of those things like, guys, like, you got to get your shit together because this is exactly what happened,
And then even if they were open, I think there were probably at least 3 or 4 passes I watched Patrick make where he just missed his target.
Yeah,
that is not Patrick. I do not know what was going on, but it looked like weeks 1 through 7, and I don't know if he's, got the yips like he did early in the season.
Do you think there was a hangover from last week?
I don't think it was a hangover. I think it was seriously something to do with whenever he's up he kind of has a premonition about what he wants to do on a play, and if the defense is taking it away, he's still looking to make something out of that.
Yeah.
Instead of taking the next look, like he's still determined to make that pass.
Yeah. So one of the things that when we talked about on the YouTube deal, Patrick Mahomes I love watching him. He's so humble. He's just a very likable person, a very easy person to cheer for. On the other side of the ball, you have Joe Burrow, who a lot of people say he's kind of cocky with the way he dresses, but that team just oozes confidence. They don't care. They go in. I mean, you have McPherson saying, well, we're going to the AFC Championship before he even kicks the ball. And yeah, it's kind of cocky, but they're backing it up. And Burrow's got the same thing. I compared him to Brett Favre, just throwing it wherever he wants, basically not caring if there's a good or bad result. And maybe Mahomes needs to get a little bit of that attitude of don't try to be too easy or something.
You say get that attitude. He's had that attitude. I don't know what happened in that second half where it was gone. Like
this is true.
Was again, like Bill's game, he had that attitude. He was the guy. Like there's nothing they could do. He's gonna go get it done. But in the second half, like it wasn't there.
Yeah, and I get that. He's the quarterback. He's the guy that should be setting the tone for the whole team, especially in the NFL. That's who you paid the big money for and stuff. But I mean, you're asking for someone, an NFL football player, to 7 quarters, with the overtime last week, and then this one also, to play lights out all the time. There's got to be another person on that offense and another person on that team. And honestly, I think the Chiefs are one defensive, big leader away from just beating teams, unconscious.
I really like them bringing Ingram. I don't think they would have been in this game without him.
Right. Correct.
But I think Frank Clark hasn't brought much to the table this season, not for what he's getting paid. In this game, Chris Jones got pressure several times. He just couldn't close it. He would get hands on Burrow, and Burrow, fucking magician, like slipping out of his grasp. I could not believe some of the escapes Burrow had. It was amazing. But the Chiefs were getting pressured. They just couldn't finish it. And I think a lot of that had to do with Frank Clark not getting pressure off of one side. Chris Jones blowing up the middle, and Burrow has a lane out. So I think they need to add another edge rusher, or possibly a lot better safeties or nickelbacks who can play that kind of in between position.
Well, and I think your linebacking core needs to get better, to be honest with you. I mean,
dude,
I love Anthony Hitchens. He's a tried and true Iowa Hawkeye. I
I think
Go ahead.
Willie Gay was
Mhm.
fantastic this year. Solid.
Mhm.
Bolton, rookie, amazing.
Mhm.
There's so much promise with Bolton this year. I think he's going to be an amazing player for several years to come.
But I don't think Anthony Hitchens could cover me out of the backfield.
No.
Like he's just not he's a very good run stopper, but he's not very good in coverage. I think that needs to upgrade. And honestly, again, I think you just need a vocal, like, pump up leader on that side of the ball. Because I think they're in so many games, and I think the defense plays really well. But I also think they need someone to be like, all right, guys, we need to stop here. Let's fucking go do this shit.
You know, Tyrann Mathieu left the Bills game with a concussion. He was in this game against Cincy, but I didn't see anything out of him.
Right.
And I don't know if that was, you know, some residual effect of what he was going through with that concussion. But you didn't see him at the line. You didn't see him with the emotion. So I don't know if there was some effect from that.
I agree.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think they're going to blow it up. And again, credit to the Bengals. There's a lot of people that are, you know, pointing out past takes that I've had where it's like, oh, well, you said they were going to win by 10, or, oh, you said they won the regular season Super Bowl for them. It's like, well, yeah, well, one, I'm a Homer Chiefs fan. I'd be a pretty fucking terrible fan if I didn't cheer for my team. What kind of bullshit, you know? Well, my favorite team's about to go to the Super Bowl. I bet you they're going to lose in heartbreaking fashion in overtime.
Yeah, freaking.
James.
No, I would say, like you said, I think we're a couple pieces. Again, I think you can get rid of potentially even some pieces off of offense, get a number 2 wide receiver, but, you know, I mean, solidify the line in the draft a little bit more. I think really you go defense heavy and just, you know, if you can get a defense that can stop, and you can, you know, if they can hold teams to average of 14, 17 points, there's no reason why, you know, Mahomes shouldn't be able to win every single fucking game, because he should be good for, you know, that 21, 28 points a game, because he's been able to lift guys up. This one, like, I don't know if it's the yips, but I don't know. You know, credit to the Bengals. Actually, more credit to McPherson. He's really been carrying that team throughout these playoffs. I mean, fucking rookie, what's he, 11 for 11 now in the playoffs?
Yeah.
Oh, man, don't jinx him. Don't jinx him.
Oh, man, that would be really terrible. Yeah, I do just want to say, though, out of the in the playoffs right now, the Bengals have scored 72 points, and the kicker has scored 40 of them. So he is 56% of their offense.
You know, I give a lot of credit to those Bengals, too, and, you know, making their team always practice outside. Like, do you think McPherson would be able to deal with all those conditions if he wasn't forced to constantly be kicking in an outside environment? No, I don't think so. So,
exactly.
You know, just forget about the indoor facility. Just they don't need it.
So do
they
you guys?
Don't do it, I'm shocked. But
do you guys hate Burrow more or respect him more?
Oh, I don't respect him. That's McPherson's team, dude.
I think Burrow's more capable than a lot of people gave him credit for. And you know, he's got the chance to do something nobody else has ever done. And I really hope he doesn't do it. I hope this is Stafford's year, even though fuck the Rams. But
Boy,
you know, it goes. I'm going to go back to my, you know, bold prediction, which we'll bring up here in a little bit. But I said Chiefs by 20, and if they played the way they did in the first half and the second half, I think that would have been no issue.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
We should have just called the game of the second quarter, I think.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you know, old Pickle Pete up there in South Dakota, James. He's like, oh, you know, real great prediction there, Chiefs by 20. It's like, yeah, hindsight's 20/20, but
it was looking like Chiefs by 40 there for a little while.
Exactly. They were playing amazing in the first half.
The good thing is we don't get paid to do this.
We can't talk about James's organization and the dirty deeds they do.
That's right.
True. We'll get to that.
The AFC is going to be awesome going forward, though. When you have the Chiefs and the Bengals and the Bills, it's going to be such a good conference.
I really love the picture the NFL put up of all the young quarterbacks, and 5 out of 6 of them are all in the AFC.
Yeah. I mean, the NFC is going to suck. You have Brady going. You've got Rodgers. Who knows what's going to happen to him? But he's not getting younger. Stafford
possibly going to the AFC.
Yeah, Stafford's the same way. He's not getting younger, so the NFC needs to start pulling their weight a little bit.
That's right.
Yeah, I think a lot of players, speaking of like young AFC quarterbacks, I think the funny thing is the Bengals, no one really counted them in this year, which kind of, you know, the
It's
Who would've?
really hilarious that everybody was giving that division to the Browns.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's exactly what I was getting to. I think all of the Browns fans thought this is what Baker was supposed to be to them. This cocky kid that was going to be able to back it up, and he had a defense that that could help him along. And look at what Baker did this year. He couldn't get along with his one prima donna that is now going to the Super Bowl with the Rams.
Right.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
Who's actually been quite good.
yeah, exactly. So. No offense. Can we go on to the 49? I'm tired of reliving this whole game.
Well,
No,
hold
we've got 20
Hold
more
on.
allotted minutes to this game. You're dealing with it.
Yeah, right.
For the offseason, my take on the Chiefs is they will add an offensive weapon. I think they're going to add a big-time wide receiver. I don't think they do a whole lot else on the offense. Defense, I'm going to say 4 or 5 starting positions, new players, 1 or 2 big-time names.
I hope so.
So one more question for you guys. I like asking you questions. Do you think the Mahomes contract is any sort of hindrance to them?
I've heard they're going to restructure it. Like somehow I don't get how cap space works, but they've talked about how they're going to change some of like the signing bonus or like a bonus into the contract so it doesn't hit the cap as hard. Somehow he's still going to get his money, but like I said, with Veach, when he had like literally $180 and he changed it to signing, Chris Jones to be a top DT, the Mahomes, or that was after the Mahomes contract. Sorry, DT, they restructured Kelsey. I don't think the contracts are going to be just fine. Somehow he's a financial wizard with that stuff.
I think Brett Veach knows how to do to cap space what the U.S. government does to a budget. He just prints money. All right.
Yeah.
Well, what they'll do is they'll, make it all back end loaded and then restructure again and make it all back end loaded. And just, kind of with the snowstorm, just push it into a pile, move the pile, push it into another pile. Like that's just what they'll do.
And you talk about his contract, and I saw this again today with Tom Brady's news that he earned $475 million over his contractual years. It's crazy that that's all he earned, and here's Mahomes on a deal that's already worth more than that.
Yeah.
At this point, the salary cap is almost a make-believe thing. Like, it's there, but they can figure out ways around it.
Honestly, I think if your team has negative cap space right now, you should be getting a new GM because they don't know what the fuck they're
That's
doing.
what we're doing.
Browns.
Good news.
Browns.
Yeah.
Saints.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, before we move on from this game, I do have 2 takes for the Chiefs that I want to give. And I also like to give some props to the Browns. I mean, or not the Browns, the Bengals. They did make the goddamn Super Bowl, guys. I mean, we barely talked about them. Burrow and Chase look fucking.
What do you mean we didn't talk about him? That's Evan McPherson's team.
Yeah.
You got him there
You're
on that golden leg.
Yeah.
Right.
That magnificent boot.
What I was about to say is they look kind of pedestrian now, and last time they looked pedestrian, they went off for like 600 yards together. So hopefully. For me, I hope that the Super Bowl is super entertaining and then they do that again. And that Stafford also has 600 yards between OBJ, Cup, and, I don't think Higbee is going to be playing. He looked pretty goddamn hurt, but we'll get that in a second.
I hope Von Miller and Aaron Donald decapitate Joe Burrow.
Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. I didn't even think of that, Clark. Thank you, Carl. Holy shit.
And then Ndamukong Suh's going to kick him while he's down.
That's right.
But for the Chiefs, if I'm Hardman or Pringle, I think that I am at least a number 2 receiver, and I'm going somewhere else. I mean, if you put Hardman on the Niners, fuck, dude, with Deebo Samuel and someone that can go deep, that's another fucking dangerous team. And if either one of them can play slot in Tennessee, that's a fucking dangerous team too. Like, I mean,
but
Mecole, I think McColl's had lots of opportunities with that on jet sweeps and different routes, and he hasn't done what Deebo Samuel does. So I do not think he's that kind of talent.
Well, no, that's not what I'm saying. I think Mecole is a Tyreek Hill clone that can just burn people. Like, if you have Deebo underneath and doing jet sweeps and everything, and then you have someone that can just burn people over the top, that's dangerous to me. I think Mecole, I don't think he's as fast as Tyreek, but he's got to be close to being up there. And then Pringle is also a Deebo Samuel type that can also run the ball. I'd say the Titans or maybe even the Bills. I mean, that's another dangerous combination. I'm looking to go elsewhere if I'm those two, especially if Juju's coming in.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the thing is we need a true number 2 because again,
Mhm.
Nicole, this should have been the year he should have. Okay, if I nut up or shut up for being number 2, but I was gonna say like when you're saying he should go to the Niners, so you're saying he should go to a team with a very fast number 1 receiver and a top tight end in the league. Like that was the Chiefs, and he couldn't do it this year.
No. Deebo is not super fast. Deebo is just super strong and can get open when need to be. I think Deebo is more of a. I don't know.
Debo's not fast. I'm so confused. I thought he was fast as shit, boy.
Wait, is that what he said?
No, I'm just saying that.
Oh no, I don't
fast
think
as
Deebo.
fuck.
No, I don't think Deebo is fast as fuck. I think he is I think he's a true number 1 receiver that runs very good routes. I'm trying to think even who is in that category, but I don't think he is a speedster. If that makes sense.
Here's the thing.
He's a Larry Fitzgerald.
How many coaches does he have watching him? If he was good at running routes and doing that shit, I think he would have more chances. I don't think he is that type of player.
No, but what I'm saying is I think that if he gets into a position where he can be the Tyreek Hill, where he just takes the top off of the defense, I think he can excel.
They drafted him to take Tyreek's spot whenever Tyreek was in trouble, and he ain't done shit with that opportunity.
Yep.
I'm just saying, if I'm one of those two, or if I'm both of them, I'm looking to go somewhere else because someone else is already
good riddance.
my
I don't
skill
want
set.
him. If he's looking for that shit, he's complaining about getting targets. Get him the fuck out of there.
That's fine. I'm not trying to like argue with you to say that
I am arguing with you.
Well, fuck it. All right, let's do that. I think Miracle Hardman is good. That's all I got.
Don't let the door hit you in the ass.
No. Live a little.
I'd say I think there's probably going to be a team that overspends on him. He is still fast. Honestly, I don't see the true number 2 in him. I don't know. Maybe he can be a slot and the fast guy in the middle. But I think just with the offensive weapons you've had on the Chiefs, I mean, he is the number 3 receiver on the team right now. I mean, he's had the opportunities. I think he kind of blew his 1 year where like we didn't have the true number 2. We didn't have the oh golly, I'm blanking on
Sammy.
Yes, thank you, Sammy. We didn't have. Yeah, we didn't have Sammy Watkins. We had Josh Gordon. That was kind of I don't know what that signing was, just to see if there's any glimpse of 2013, I guess. But
probably the same reason they signed Le'Veon. Is there anything left in the tank? We'll find out. Might as well.
All right, I'll put it this way: give me both of them on the Falcons, and with Pitts, and I'll see what that offense does. That offense would click with people that can take the top off the defense. There are a lot of teams out there, and that's what I'm getting at, that don't have those people that can do that.
Oh yeah,
the Titans. And if you get Pringle in the slot in Buffalo, I mean that's a different team. Also, there are teams that would love to have those people for their speed.
Yeah, Cordarrelle Patterson really needs a backup down there.
Well, the Falcons just need a fucking receiver down there.
Yeah.
Cordarrelle can just focus on running the ball and being the Deebo Samuel.
I haven't heard anything about Matty Ice. He wasn't on contract year or anything like that, or contemplating retirement, was he?
He was on contract year. I don't think he was contemplating retirement. I don't know what's going to happen with him. He did put out a very good statement for Brady. I don't know if you saw that. Congratulations on 7 Super Bowls. I wish it was 6.
I did see that one. That was very good. Yes.
Yeah, that was very clutch. I like that a lot. Matty Ice is always class. I really like that guy.
I like Matty.
I don't know if he sticks around in Atlanta. I think he can go to a winning team and not have to like build up another quarterback. So, well, we'll see. They'll definitely keep paying him. I mean, he's the best quarterback in franchise history. So
maybe there's a move to be made with Garoppolo for Matty. I'd rather the Niners want to move on. So
I'd rather have Shanahan for Matty Ice. I can do that. But no, I just I really think that those two receivers are good. They're just in a system. And don't get me wrong, Andy Reid's offense literally spreads the ball out to everybody, but there are preferred receivers. Don't get me wrong. I think that they would thrive knowing that they don't have to compete with Tyreek for taking the top off and having to run the routes over the middle. I don't think the Chiefs have a receiver that can take something over the middle and take a hit. I think they need to get that in the offseason. I think Juju can actually do that, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all I have for that.
So before we move on to the next game, just looking at Twitter here, but by the time this podcast comes out and hits your ears, it'll probably be announced the Washington football team's new name, but it looks like it is officially leaked that they are going to be the Washington Commanders.
Oh, not the Red Wolves, but the Red Foxes or whatever. Damn it.
Yep.
Red Wolves.
Yeah.
Red Wolves, thank you.
Yeah. There's a Washington Commanders banner in FedEx Field right now. So looks like that's what it's going to be.
I think I saw, there's been a few images of that leaked as well. I have no strong feelings towards it. Whatever. I kind of enjoyed Washington football team, but is what it is. Not my team, but I guess, you know what? I guess it's not a racial slur. They got one thing going for it.
All right. Well, let's move on to that next game. The 49ers and the Rams. The Rams were a 3.5-point favorite. They did end up winning that game over the 49ers. 4 out of 5 of us picked that one correct. We didn't have a whole lot of faith in Jimmy G.
We were picking spreads, right?
No.
Oh, no.
Damn it.
No, sorry.
Well, son of a bitch.
And if you were betting unders, you're good on that one too, Clark.
Yeah, always bet the unders.
Yeah. I didn't watch a whole lot of this game, but about halfway through the season, I had the Rams picked to go to the Super Bowl. Finally, something goes right for my picks.
Yeah.
The 49ers, though, they did lead this game for quite a long time, I believe. Had me worried.
Wasn't it 17-7 going into the fourth?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
This was very much a Big Ten football game, and I enjoyed every fucking second of it. Granted, I did watch a watch-along at the same time, and it was entertaining as shit. Very good defense, second half scoring. It was a good game. I really liked it. I think that the Rams looked not as much on sync as they did in the game prior, but I hope, like I said, for entertainment value purposes, that they get it back on track, and that's just a good game in the Super Bowl.
I agree. I don't think we need to make any picks on the Super Bowl tonight because we will record again before the Super Bowl starts. I don't know. I honestly do not know who I'm going to pick in the Super Bowl.
I do.
I guarantee I can pick Bryant's and Clark's for them.
You say what?
I guarantee I could pick yours and Bryant's Super Bowl pick for you, and it would be correct.
I already told you what I'm hoping for.
The Rams.
It's very
Rams
much
5,000.
it's very much against what I've been saying this entire playoffs, but now I've come down to I got to pick between the lesser of the two evils. Okay, that's what it's come to.
I can't.
Go ahead.
I mean, I'm trying to figure if it's a Chiefs thing, so you don't want the Bengals, or if it's a I'm from Missouri thing and I don't want the Rams because I've hated them for years now.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm gonna be pissed off no matter who wins this game. So
maybe it'll be a tie.
Honestly, like the only silver lining here is Matt Stafford, who's suffered for many years, finally coming out on top. I think that would be the silver lining in this game. And it would also give us back-to-back years of a team playing at their home stadium, winning the Super Bowl. So, but fuck Kroenke.
I think I'm gonna have to go for the guy that went to the team to turn them around, not the one that ran away from a team. So, Evan McPherson, I have to go for him.
Yeah,
there you go.
I don't know. I might flip here soon. I don't know.
I mean,
We'll see.
we've got a week. You got a week. We don't need to do this right now.
So I want to do a blind resume with you guys because I thought this was a very interesting question, and I want you to guess because one of these is a young and bright star in the NFL and going to be the face of the NFL apparently, and then the other one is dragging his team down and should be traded immediately. So the quarterback A threw 16 for 30 for 232 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and took 0 sacks. The other quarterback threw 23 for 38 for 250 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and took a sack. So are you going with quarterback A or B?
B.
B? Is that 18 yards the difference to raise a franchise over needs to be traded immediately, downfall your team?
Yep, very much.
Yeah, exactly. Anyone else, A or B?
It's the interception that gets me.
They both had an interception.
Oh, I thought that was 0. I'll still take Burrow over Jimmy G.
Yeah, exactly. Which was Burrow?
It'd be B.
Burrow was B. I was looking at the box score when you said that. I'm like, well, I know who that one is.
Yeah. Well, I was going to go through the stats for the whole playoffs, but I thought if I brought up the quarterback that's been sacked like 12 times, I would really give it away. So
Yeah.
So that's something we didn't hit on, not going back to the Chiefs game here, but the Chiefs didn't get to Burrow 10 times. So
no. Chris Jones, 11 playoff games, 0 sacks. So he needs to if he's going to be making a big fuss that he needs to be at the end. How about you create some pressure at defensive tackle and actually get some sacks? We can go, well, he was super close. Well, guess what? On those super close plays, you also missed and he made plays. So super close in the NFL results in losses.
Yeah, he escapes your clutches and runs for 6 first downs. Congratulations.
Yeah.
So getting back to the Rams and Niners game. So the clutch moment of the game was Aaron Darnold getting pressure on Jimmy G. You cannot replace that. I know you just talked about Chris Jones and Frank Clark. You cannot replace Aaron Darnold just deciding in the fourth quarter, hey, this is my game. And that dude, that last 2 drives that the Niners had, he was the best player in football. Like that dude.
Darnold or Donald?
Donald. Not Aaron Darnold, no, or not Sam Darnold, whatever.
Sam Darnold.
Aaron Donald looked fucking all world in those last 2 drives. He put so much pressure on Jimmy G.
The LA defensive line is just scary. If I was an opposing quarterback and I was lined up under center, I would literally be crapping my pants.
Mm-hmm.
Their defensive line is nuts.
And they can just turn it on. That's the thing. That's what I'm getting at is they didn't play exceptionally well until the last half of the fourth quarter. And then it was kind of like McVay was like, all right, go, Aaron, go. And he just went, and he looked fucking
Aaron,
awesome.
carry me to victory as I try to lose this for us by challenging things I shouldn't.
Oh my God, yes, thank you, Clark. When they ran out of timeouts with 13 minutes left, I'm like, the fuck just happened? Like
those aren't important. You don't need those.
Right. And they were still down by 10 at that point. I'm like, Jesus Christ, are you kidding me? Man,
yeah.
It was such a bad game by McVay. And McVay is a very good coach, I think. But that game, he did not coach well. His players pulled him out.
Do you think? Yeah, I was just gonna say, if the Rams win the Super Bowl, is this like, oh, a great one, good job, McVay, you got him there, or is it there's so much talent on the team, they got him there?
Oh, the second
all-star team.
Yes, exactly. They bought this Super Bowl if they win it.
Well, I mean, remember just a couple years ago, if you'd ever sat down and had a drink with McVay, you were getting a head coaching job somewhere.
I still don't know why you haven't been hired, Trent.
I know. I watched a game of his on TV once, and I'm surprised I haven't got hired either. It's all it takes.
This is the
What are
same
you guys-
coach
are you
that
guys-
got Goff to the Super Bowl, though.
True.
So, are you guys surprised that Cliff is still hired by Arizona?
No, I mean I'm not surprised.
Yeah,
this whole fucking league is just.
Did we ever hear if
gimmicky
they got their
people for 2
bonuses?
years.
So I mean, there was something about the owner of the Arizona Cardinals not giving the coaches their playoff bonuses yet. Do we know if that's been resolved?
Ooh,
I haven't
That
heard
I
of
don't
this. Yeah.
I think that was last week. I was seeing that kind of rolling around Twitter, where the Arizona coaching staff had not received bonuses yet, and there was some whispers that was because he was upset that they didn't perform well in the playoffs, and two division rivals were still going at it. So,
I mean, speaking of quarterbacks running around like idiots and their heads cut off like chickens, Kyler Murray did that for the last half of the season and the playoffs, and that defense carried them to where they got to anyway. So,
I still think if they had D Hop, it'd be a different story.
I 100% agree. Yeah. But I truly, really, really like this game. I know I've done a lot of talking for this game because no one else really seems to care about it. It is very
Playing volleyball.
much. What's that?
I was playing volleyball. I couldn't see it.
I know. Either no one watched it, people weren't caring about it.
I was emotionally traumatized from the game that happened right before it. Like if the Chiefs game was after, I might have watched it just in anticipation and getting pumped up for the Chiefs game, but I was pissed off and I couldn't watch any more football. So
Clark,
for those that don't know,
Clark couldn't take his most hated team winning.
Yeah.
But
in this
game, I was going to bring up a point that the defensive MVP was Eric Weedle, which was kind of cool considering he was retired like 14 days ago.
Right.
This comes
what
in.
The fuck?
Yeah.
They signed Weedle. I guess I hadn't heard about that.
He's played the last 2 weeks. Yeah, he was retired.
Shit.
Yeah, he hadn't played in 2 years.
They go pick him up out of the retirement home. Like, hey, we need you on the field, buddy.
Yeah.
Jimmy G's last, and Jimmy G is very much into throwing into hands that are up in the air. His last 2 batted balls were to Weddle.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Just
yeah,
all
he
over
had
the place.
9 tackles, tackle for a loss. Yeah.
And
Still got it.
Yeah. Good for him.
4 solos.
Yeah.
Good for him.
What were you gonna say, Joey?
I was going to say Cooper Kupp and Odell went off in this game, as did Matthew Stafford. It was a great game for all 3 of them. Higbee went out early, very bad injury. I don't know if he comes back for the Super Bowl, but I don't know. I don't want to lead into the next segment or anything, but I was just trying to help Trent with his Cooper Kupp-ness going on.
I think I heard the Rams are shopping another big name for possibly signing before the Super Bowl. Maybe bring Megatron out of retirement, get him a ring.
Heck
Oh,
yeah.
man, that'd be fucking great.
Fucking sign
Hell
Barry
yeah.
Sanders at this point. I guarantee Barry Sanders being in his 50s and not having run a ball professionally in 30 years doesn't fumble the ball as much as Cam Akers does.
Oh my gosh.
So
I mean-
so the Rams are going to have Stafford, Megatron, Sanders. They're just going to take all the old Lions legends and get them a ring.
Yep.
That's what they're going to do.
They might as well take the new Lions legends and take TJ Hawkinson also.
He's not a legend.
Well,
Yeah, I
he can
don't
play
know
tight
what
end.
qualifies for legend anymore,
People
but
that can block well.
When you're at the
Yeah.
Lions, I'm a legend in the Lions. So
get this man a contract. The boys from the Heartland will be right back.
Let's hit our bold predictions unless anybody has anything to add to this game. I don't. Other than, hey, my team's in the Super Bowl. Not my team I picked. Okay. So let's hit the bold prediction here. Bryant, do you want to explain yours?
Well, first half it was looking good. I had them under 250 yards of total offense. I mean, considering how the second half went, it was still decently close. It was 359 total offense. But like I said, first half they were looking amazing and doing it, and then defense, that momentum, they just couldn't get off. It seemed like they just couldn't get off the field to be long third downs. Burrow would run it, the long third down, or it wouldn't even. Sometimes it would just be Mixon just hitting 8 yards on the first down, and it just, I don't know. Mixon really saved that game, and McPherson won it for him. So,
all right, Clark, you want to hit your bold prediction?
I called Chiefs by 20. And at half, just like Brian said, that was looking good. And, you brought up that half, and I was thinking here, it's like, what did Mahomes finish with for yards in that game?
Mm-hmm.
And so I looked. He had 275 yards total passing. Mm-hmm. He had over 200 of those in the first half. Like, that's how rough it was to find and hit his target in the second half. Like, yeah, that's why that 11-point lead disappeared.
Great
yeah,
game.
And that's what we were talking about earlier. Clark got called out today on Twitter for his bold prediction, but that's what these bold predictions are for. we're not looking to, they're bold. That's what they are.
That's right, Pickle Rick. Don't forget it.
Pickle all right, so my bold prediction was Cooper Kupp, 150 yards and 2 touchdowns.
God, so close.
So close. He had 142 yards and 2 touchdowns. 8 more yards, Cooper Kupp. Come on.
Damn.
Still a good game.
He's just not that bold.
Nope. He is not. I just should have 140,
That's right.
All right, Ryan, what was your?
I had Cincy and Kansas City combining for over 1,000 yards of offense, and they were just shy at 733.
Just a bit outside.
Just a bit.
If it weren't for Kansas City having a huge first half, that game might not have been over 500.
Mm-hmm. But like we said, bold for a reason, right?
That's right.
Yes, sir.
And Joey, what was yours? Bold.
I was also decently close. I had 2 touchdowns and 100 yards for OBJ. He had 113 yards. He just needed 2 touchdowns. And they were in the red zone twice, and he had a ball that hit him in the hands, and they had to settle for a field goal. So I could have had at least one. I mean, damn it. So close.
So, there's some pretty bold predictions out there. And I don't know if anybody else saw this from this past weekend, but there's somebody out there who's got the biggest cojones ever.
Oof.
Because
call.
Well, they did a 2-game parlay predicting exact scores for both games.
Yeah, this is nuts.
It was a $20 bet.
Wait, hold on. Did you see that it wasn't even a bet? He had made other bets, and this was his $20 credit on DraftKings?
No.
Yeah, this was his $20 credit. So he didn't even pay for this. But go ahead.
That is absurd. So essentially, he put down $20, predicting the scores for both games, nailed them both head on to win over $500,000.
Yeah.
Yes, $579,000 on a $20 bet.
That's just absurd.
Yeah, I saw on Twitter that he bet $75 total and got that $20 credit for free from DraftKings on one of their, the promotional things, and that was his free $20 that he just put down. That's fucking awesome. Good for him.
Yeah, it is.
I always feel bad. Like, I always feel like whenever I'm putting in a bet, I feel like I'm throwing money away when something gets to like plus 400, plus 500. This 2-leg parlay was plus 2,895,000. Like, what the fuck, man?
So I also saw that someone else tweeted on the last drive because the Rams picked it off at the end, I believe.
Yeah.
And if they wouldn't have just ran timeout, if they would have went down and scored and went up 23-17, that guy would have won like $2 million. Because he picked the exact same thing. Yeah, it was pretty damn crazy. So good bets by everybody.
That's just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So now that the championship weekend is over and we're on to the Super Bowl, that means we have a weekend off. No real games. We have the Pro Bowl. Does anybody watch that crap anymore?
The boys of fall are over, basically.
Yeah.
I couldn't even tell you who was playing in the game, to be honest.
Me neither.
I think I know that it's in Las Vegas this year. Apparently, it's not in Hawaii every year anymore. So I feel like since it left Hawaii, like it used to be the big thing for the players. They take their families, go on vacation to Hawaii. But since then, it's just been like, oh, you made the Pro Bowl. Congratulations. Here's a Twitter announcement. Oh, and show up this weekend. You have to take a few snaps.
Yeah, I think they get a bonus for making it to the Pro Bowl, but I don't know.
Trying to find the you know what? I've already lost more interest in the Pro Bowl trying to find the rosters in the middle of the fucking ad.
Yeah, so I think they get a bonus for making it and being selected, but it is basically a touch football game that nobody. I mean, I don't know of anybody who watches it.
I mean, the Pro Bowl, their voting is just a popularity contest, anyways.
Correct.
There's no statistical thing or performance evaluation for it. Shit, there's probably guys on there who maybe played a handful of snaps. Hell, I don't fucking know. But yeah, it's just some big extra bonus check for the players.
I went to look it up to see like major plays. I just put in Pro Bowl big hits, huge hits, and the first highlight that comes up is 2007 Pro Bowl Sean Taylor. That shows you how long since the game has actually been played hard.
Yeah, Sean Taylor didn't he blow up a punter or a quarterback or something on that play?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like it was a fake punt.
Yeah.
But I'm too worried to click on it that it's going to blow up our podcast again with the sound.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he just blows up a punter on a fake punt. It's pretty good.
I think it would be cool if they could incentivize it though, like the MLB All-Star Game where the winner has home field advantage
in the World Series.
Yeah, but I mean the World Series is at a set location. The home field advantage really doesn't matter in football like it does All-Star, like the World Series with the home field host and has the last at bat and stuff. So
yeah,
I don't know if it'd make as much of a difference there, but
with how physical football is, I mean, I struggle to find where we could even make it matter enough that it would incentivize it to like playoff teams and stuff. I mean, I suppose you could do like a 7-on-7 or a skills competition in the middle of the season, and then that conference with the highest scores gets home field and the Super Bowl. So I don't know.
I totally agree with what Joey is kind of saying here. It's like this game is at the end of the season. These guys' season's over. They don't want to get hurt. They're in the off season. Like it's too physical to make it a competitive game.
I think it'd be cooler if they just did like fucking drills and just televise them all laughing and bullshit and egging each other on to do, fucking drills like quarterback competitions and stuff like, oh, hit the driving target. I think they do that shit throughout the week, but honestly, I find that more entertaining than the fucking actual game.
Ooh, I know. I got this. I got it all solved. Don't worry about anything else, everybody.
Are we going to fix the Pro Bowl right now?
I'm fixing the whole NFL postseason. So we can do it like bowl season, and you still have the playoffs and everything. But the two teams vying for the first pick in the NFL draft play on Pro Bowl weekend, and the winner gets the first pick. The loser gets second pick. And then we just name people as like all pros, like they do Golden Gloves in baseball. There's incentive to it, and people that want the first pick have to play for that first pick. Like if you were so bad, like if you were the 0-16 Lions and you want that quarterback, you play your ass off to get that quarterback next year, and you get a whole month and a half to prepare like a bowl.
I like that idea. that makes it way more exciting.
Holy fuck. Man, if someone's listening to this, that's a trademark Joey Mahosky take right there. We should do that right now.
I think they should play the game just like that. And then immediately following game, they make their pick announcement. Just have that number 1 overall pick to wrap up the weekend, and everybody, freak out and give their takes on that for up until the draft. And that's amazing. I
Roger
like it.
Goodell, you know what to do.
That's right.
Yeah. So, nobody else has anything to say about the Pro Bowl, because I don't think we do. It kind of sucks. Not much to talk about. So there is one thing to talk about, and there's a quarterback. I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but he announced he's retiring today. He's a little guy named Tom Brady. Had a pretty mediocre career. This news might get swept under the rug other places, but the Pulse of the Heartland is going to talk about it.
Yeah, just a little 22 seasons, 7 Super Bowls. Nothing too crazy,
Yeah.
I mean, did he retire yet? I heard he was going to go sign with some shit ass team that he played on at one point. They really didn't do much with before he actually announced his retirement. Or he's going to retire with them, I guess, for some sentimental reason for being such a shit fest that they are.
Sign a 1-day contract. What if he signs that 1-day contract and he's like, nah, you know what? I think I'm back on the Patriots now. And Mac Jones is just out.
That's right.
He's just like, I go back, and then he's just on the Patriots.
He's like, oh, before I sign that, I put a no trade clause in there.
For the 1 day.
That's right.
But yeah, old Tom Brady hanging him up.
Tom Brady never wanted nothing more.
Yeah, I would say. Well, before this weekend, Tom Brady, he was the only quarterback to beat Mahomes in the playoffs. So Burrow gets to join that conversation there. But I would say Brady, I think we've all been personally affected by him. That's the crazy part, is since he joined the NFC and then immediately won over there. I think everyone thought they were safe in the NFC with not having to deal with him. And then the 2 years he's over there, he's in the playoffs each year and just doing Tom Brady shit,
I think my favorite part about Brady's career was all his cheating and scandals. That was my favorite part.
Yeah, and he just kept getting away with them.
Which one was your favorite? Deflategate, Tuck Rule? Come on, I want some details.
I feel like was it when they Spygate, whenever they were spying on the Rams practices?
Is that more of a Belichick thing though than a Brady thing?
No, Tom Brady, he was recording it with his iPhone back in 2000,
No, I will. I'll give Tom Brady credit. He did do a very good job starring in Ted 2. One of my favorent parts. No,
I'll say my favorite thing with Tom Brady was drunk Tom Brady during the Buccaneers celebration.
Yes, on the boat, all red faced.
Tossing trophies over the ocean.
No shoes, no shirt, no problems.
I enjoyed Tom Brady cut loose down there in Tampa. That's the only part of his career I liked.
Tom Brady's better as a memory.
Amen. Cheers to that.
What the hell was that?
I just cheered my glass to my microphone.
Jesus. Elsewhere in the NFL, Brian Flores is suing the NFL.
Oh my God! Thank you guys for not bringing up 28-3. I know I shouldn't myself.
Thanks, Joey.
Thank you very much.
I was gonna let it go because I know it's a hard memory for you. Whenever Atlanta was blowing the Super Bowl in epic fashion, but now that you did it anyways yourself, I figured we could elaborate on 28-3. That was Atlanta leading.
It was the best and worst 2 hours of my football fandom in my life. So
consecutively, the best turned into the worst.
Yes. I'm really curious to see what comes out of the Brian Flores case. There's already been some rumors coming out about the owner of the team offering incentives for them to lose games.
$100,000 per game.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Now, Brian Flores is suing the NFL because of, race and all this, but is it the Rooney Rule where you have to, an NFL team has to interview a coach of minority?
Two. They have to interview two.
Yeah. So how can he sue the NFL?
So what happened, Trent, and how this all came to be is Bill Belichick texted the wrong Brian, supposedly. So Brian DeBull got hired by the Giants, and he texted who he thought was Brian DeBull. He actually texted Flores on Tuesday after the interview and goes, "Congrats, man. I hear you're in on the Giants." And, they chose you. Congrats. And he goes, "Oh, thanks, man, blah, blah, all this." And he goes, he goes, "This is Brian Flores. Did you mean to text, DeBull?" Because he's like, "I haven't even interviewed. My interview's on Thursday." Mm-hmm. So supposedly there's some inside information that the Bull was hired before Flores even did his final interview.
Yeah, which means that they had decided on their coach
before they gave him,
and they just went through the actions in bad faith with Brian Flores. Can you imagine going to these meetings and those dinners, knowing what you know as Brian Flores?
How did the Broncos get involved with this?
Speaking of those losses, that was one thing, and again, I hope Brian Flores gets every penny he deserves from the NFL, not only for everything that's been horrendous, because we've seen, we've even talked specifically how Bieniemy hasn't gotten any opportunities. He's interviewed for 20 head coaching jobs because of this Rooney Rule and hasn't even gotten one offer. That's pretty fucking sketchy considering we've seen some of these coaches that are does anyone remember Steve Wilkes for the Arizona Cardinals? No, because he went there for one season. There's plenty of these coaches that get one opportunity. But a roundabout way of what I'm getting to here is the year that they started with the $100,000 per loss. That was the year where Brian Flores, man of integrity, beat the Patriots week 17 to give the Chiefs the 1 seed and give us home field advantage to the Super Bowl. So I appreciate Brian Flores for everything he did with the Dolphins. And like I said, I hope he gets every fucking penny he deserves, dude.
So Brian, how are the Broncos involved with this?
The Broncos have always been dirty, cheating liars with John Elway.
Okay, anybody who's not a homer for that division's team.
No, I'm not. I didn't. I know about the Giants. The Dolphins was very clear. I'd have to do some more research real quick on the.
Yeah, I saw the Broncos too, and I wasn't sure how they.
Yeah, I wasn't aware that they were involved in this anyway, other than the Giants and then his accusations towards the Dolphins and their owner for the incentive to lose. So,
well, good to know that the Broncos are also for sale for $4 billion,
which I still think we put out a bid for them, guys.
Yeah, Pulse of the Heartland. We're gonna need some more.
Actually, the Dolphins might be for sale too. Would you rather chill in South Beach?
I was gonna say, I'm kind of curious. Is the NFL gonna force somebody to sell like the NBA did with the Clippers?
Yeah, really.
For the Broncos, it says not allegedly, or Flores alleges that John of course another ad pops up. Fucking Christ. John Elway Flores alleges that then Broncos general manager John Elway, along with front office members, arrived to his interview an hour late, as he claims, and had been drinking heavily the night before. So sounds like they weren't even giving him a realistic shot, just, drinking the night before partying and then just, doing him the favor by showing up.
Does this have anything to do with the Broncos currently being sold?
I don't know.
Maybe Elway's dealerships just had a record year and he was celebrating from that the night prior.
Maybe.
So why aren't these teams giving Brian Flores a legit shot? I mean, he had the Dolphins over 500 and in contention for the playoffs this year.
And last year they were just under 500 and also in contention until the final stretch.
Why aren't they giving this guy a fair shot? I don't get it.
Yeah. I mean, I listened to Le Batard show religiously, and over the last couple of years, they've been talking about how Brian Flores is turning this around, and he's the Miami guy, and he's the one that's going to turn this around. And everyone was excited. And when he got let go, people were stunned by this. And I think it ties into his love for Deshaun Watson.
You can
Go ahead.
say that, but also you just kind of look at the way he's handling this. Like, I would be very scorned if he's had interactions with this where somebody's like, "Hey, we'll throw you an extra 100,000 if you lose." He's like, "Fuck that! I'm here to win. Why would I lose a game?"
Mhm.
You know, that's just going to kind of piss him off. And the reason they said they got fired this last time was because of his relationships. Well, yeah, I'd be pretty fucking pissed at the guy above me if he's like, "Hey, lose this game." If they don't care about winning, and that's what you're there to do, it's like you're obviously not going to be on the same page. So
I wonder if
maybe-
the owner knew that was going on before he got rid of Flores, because it seems like you just got rid of the wrong guy, and
Yeah.
now you're in a world of hurt.
Well, I also wonder if Flores pushed for Tua the year before, and when they were giving him the $100,000 or offering that to him, if they were trying to push for Trevor Lawrence this year.
Flores didn't like Tua.
No,
That's why
not
he was
at
trying to
all.
get Watson so much.
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
They could have. I mean, actually, what they probably would have done was probably the year for Burrow. They probably wanted to get Burrow.
That's true. But that was his. Wasn't he only in Miami 2 years, or was he there 3?
Well, that was 2 years ago. 2 drafts ago.
Three because he beat the Patriots to
You're right.
yeah, so 3.
Okay. Yeah. So maybe. Yeah. I don't know. I don't like to get into these things too much because there's so much murky water, and especially when a coach accuses, other teams. What's his face? That was at the Vikings for forever. Denny
Green.
He was also stating that other teams before he got hired on the Vikings weren't giving him a chance because he was a coach of color. I mean, it's a touchy situation, and especially when you have all these up and coming coaches, McVay, Kingsbury, all of the Shanahan people, Zach Taylor now, like those are all white people. I'm sorry to say that, but when people are putting in the resumes that those people have, not Kingsbury, Jesus Christ, that's stupid. But but when you have other people putting in resumes like that, and then Brian Flores, I mean, he was a leader of the Miami Dolphins, but really, where is he going to go? Like up in this? I don't know. Does he go to the Browns and turn them around? Stefanski is a up and coming coach. Also, I don't know.
Minnesota.
Yeah.
Well, then
Yeah,
with the Vikings,
but they're
with the
racist up
Vikings-
there, and they went with the other Brian. So
Yeah.
Right.
I've seen plenty of Chiefs forums where it's like, bring Flores on. Again, just get rid of Spags. This guy is clearly, an up-and-comer in the NFL, not given his fair share. Just, bring him on. And like I said, the tough thing is with him fighting this case, and he mentioned it in statements as well, as he goes, this is my passion, and I'm stepping up for what's right. And, now I'm likely going to be martyred and never coach again. And I don't think right away, teams realistically, if you're in the business to win right now with this lawsuit over your head, you can't have a defensive coach that's focused on 2 different things. We talked about how even like the Bills defensive coordinators just doing some interviews and you're still focusing on the Chiefs the next week, let alone imagine you have a gigantic, racial lawsuit on your hands and you want them to still run your defense in week 2.
Mm-hmm.
You
know what should happen? He should go to the Texans. Texans should rehire Deshaun. He can have his quarterback, and then he can also try and build that defense up from the way that he wants to build it.
But Deshaun's not going to be there because the Vikings want him so bad because they hate Cousins.
Yeah,
That's true.
I don't know about that, Clark.
I don't know who. I mean, it was probably brought to you by the same person that said Lane Kiffin was the leading candidate for the Vikings. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just so stupid. Some of these rumors out
You
there.
know what? If there's any proof that there is racism in the NFL and all these institutions, it's how many chances that Lane Kiffin's been given. How many times has he got? He went to from Bama to USC to the Raiders to Ole Miss to how many teams have given him a chance?
Speaking of the Raiders, Josh fucking McDaniels, like that dude just gets all
Same
of the
thing.
chances.
Yeah.
So, rumors of The Vikings' next head coach could be Mr. Harbaugh from Michigan. He's getting
Is that a rumor, or is that pretty kind of done and done? They're just officially waiting for paperwork.
They're bringing him in
Yankees.
for an interview tomorrow, so Wednesday.
Is it do you want your desk on the north side of the room or on the south side of the room? How's that interview come?
It almost seems like a done deal. I mean,
as long as there's a keg in the closet, it doesn't matter.
Okay, Kenny
Jesus,
Chesney.
Kenny.
There we go. Boom, 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 boom.
They've had 3 other interviews, and I guess they did an interview tonight with Patrick Graham from New York, which I don't know why you'd want somebody from the Giants, but they do, I guess. And that interview supposedly lasted like 9 hours tonight. So that's.
Have the Vikings satisfied the Rooney Rule yet?
Yep, he's one of them, and Raheem Morris was interviewed also.
So they're basically just bringing in Harbaugh to get him to the Mall of America to find what store to get the khakis from.
Yeah, my understanding is they have a map of all the gaps in the Twin Cities.
Target.
She thinks
But-
my khaki sexy.
I said before we started here, there was a story on Pro Football Talk that it's basically a done deal with him.
Yeah, I saw that
he's
too.
totally expecting to be the Vikings' next head coach, which to me, I'm very excited about. I don't know about you, Trent.
Bring it on. I like it.
So go ahead. Sorry.
Nope.
For me, he's had success in the NFL and in college. Everywhere he goes, he has success.
Yeah.
And I mean, some of these other people that are candidates could be better, but you know what you're getting from him.
Right. So with Harbaugh, you're getting a coach that's not necessarily a defensive coach and not necessarily an offensive coach. He's kind of I want to call him a CEO of a football team.
Mm-hmm.
Which do you want him? Which would you rather have a stronger person in, offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator?
For me, offense, but if he's somebody who has the right staff with him and trusts them, unlike what our prior head coach had, then I'm fine with whatever.
I agree with Ryan just because it's such an offensive league anymore.
Right.
So go ahead.
No, you go ahead. No, I'll shut up for a second.
I'm seeing if he gets hired, who is coming with him is potentially Vic Fangio for DC and Pep Hamilton as OC. And I don't know much about Pep, so
me either.
Answer questions on that.
So Vic would be a very good defensive coordinator for Jim Harbaugh.
He was so good at Chicago.
Right. Very much. I think he's a lot like John, where he is just managing a game and lets the people underneath him run the show until it comes to crunch time. And then he takes over because he's very just football minded, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. For me, if I had Jim Harbaugh and the things that I've watched him do in the Big Ten and how he's done at Michigan, I would want more of an offensive minded coordinator. Like if I would want a stronger offensive coordinator than a defensive coordinator, because he tends to do Big Ten things and try and run the ball. And he also tries to just like play to the team that he's playing against instead of playing to the strengths of his own team, which I think you've had enough of in Minnesota. I think you need someone in the NFL under Harbaugh to run a very good offense. So I hope for your guys' sake, he brings in a very good offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
What shade of khakis do you think he wears with the purple?
That's a great question. Let's not miss out on the fact that in the NFL history with Harbaughs that have led teams that have purple, they have a Super Bowl under them. So we got to continue that trend.
I mean, we can't deny the fact that this Harbaugh's been to the Super Bowl himself.
Yeah, he's had success, and it, like I said, there could be better candidates out there, but with Harbaugh, we know somebody. We know he's somebody who has had success at multiple levels.
I feel like he's always been a tan khaki guy. I would like to see him make the transition to charcoal. So
I think a a lighter khaki would go better with the purple because the purple is going to be darker. You get that contrast.
Yeah.
So then to go along with this, we had our new GM hired last week, Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah. And I don't know if you've watched any videos with him. I watched his press conference, Trent, and I mean there wasn't really a whole lot of substance, but he seems like a very, very bright. I think he's 40, so he's kind of younger, bright younger guy. And so if he can come out and get a Harbaugh type hiring right out the gate, that's a pretty dang impressive start. And I guess he worked under Harbaugh in San Francisco.
Yeah. So they do have a connection. I did see that. So make it happen. Maybe by this time tomorrow we'll know.
If they're having steaks at Manny's tomorrow evening, we know what's going on.
They're going out for Juicy Lucy's. That's the only Minnesota way to get him. Maybe
Juicy Lucy's are not good for khakis. You do not go eat Juicy Lucy's.
Yeah.
I tell you what, if we're doing Michigan ties, I think that he should get Rich Rod to run your offense. Rich Rod with your weapons would be fucking amazing.
I mean, Pat wasn't he West Virginia as well?
Mm-hmm.
And Pat McAfee speaks so highly of him.
Mm-hmm. And Steve Slayton and Pat. Oh God, Pat. God damn it.
Pat
White.
Pat White. Yeah. I ran so many tables with that on NCAA
They
football.
all hated him.
No, that's all right.
Yeah. So
I put up good numbers with them. So.
All right. Well, let's wrap this thing up here. Everybody, thank you for sticking with us here and listening. Keep your eyes open for the fun cast that will be coming out on Friday. Got a lot to talk about during the fun cast, so should be a good one. Again, let us know how we're doing. How can people get a hold of us, Joey?
Twitter, Instagram, follow us at Heartland Pulse. Facebook, search Pulse of the Heartland. YouTube, look us up at Pulse of the Heartland also, and look up those live videos we have and follow us on all the major streaming platforms.
Trent, I'm not gonna lie, when you started saying keep, I totally thought you were gonna say keep your stick on the ice.
Yeah. Yep.
Nice.
Keep your stick on the ice. Nice. If the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy.
Love it.
I'm gonna have to watch some Red Green tonight. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.